Hello, thank you for joining me today. To give a recap about yesterday, we left off with Angeus fighting for a woman named Jania, and he won. His brother and him took over the inhabitants of Bibentu, and that was in chapter 60 that we left off. So we're going to pick up in chapter 61. And it came to pass at the time Pharaoh, king of Egypt, commanded all his people to make for him a strong palace in Egypt. And he also commanded the sons of Jacob to assist the Egyptians in the building, and the Egyptians made a beautiful and elegant palace for a royal habitation. And he dwelt therein. And he renewed his government, and he reigned securely. And Zebulun, the son of Jacob, passed in that year. That is the 72nd year of the going down of the Israelites to Egypt. And Zebulun passed away 114 years old, and was put into a coffin and given into the hands of his children. And in the 75th year passed his brother Simeon. He was 120 years old at his passing, and he was also put into a coffin and given into the hands of his children. And Zepho, the son of Eliphaz, the son of Esau, captain of the host to Angeus, king of Dinhabah, was still daily enticing Angeus to prepare for battle to fight with the sons of Jacob in Egypt, and Angeus was unwilling to do this thing, for his servants had related to him all the might of the sons of Jacob, what they had done unto them in their battle with the children of Esau. And Zepho was in those days daily enticing Angeus to fight with the sons of Jacob in those days. And after some time Angeus hearkened to the word of Zepho, and consented to him to fight with the sons of Jacob in Egypt. And Angeus got all his people in order, a people numerous as the sand which is upon the seashore, and he formed his resolution to go to Egypt to battle. And among the servants of Angeus was a youth 15 years old. Balaam the son of Beor was his name, and the youth was very wise, and understood the art of witchcraft. And Angeus said unto Balaam, Conjure for us, I pray thee, with the witchcraft, that we may know who will prevail in this battle to which we are now proceeding. And Balaam ordered that they should bring him wax, and he made thereof the likeness of chariots and horsemen, representing the army of Angeus and the army of Egypt, and he put them in the cunningly prepared waters that he had for that purpose. And he took in his hand the boughs of myrtle trees, and he exercised his cunning, and he joined them over the water, and there appeared unto him in the water the resembling images of the hosts of Angeus, falling before the resembling images of the Egyptians and the sons of Jacob. And Balaam told this thing to Angeus, and Angeus despaired, and did not arm himself to go down to Egypt to battle. And he remained in his city. And when Zepho the son of Eliphaz saw that Angeus despaired of going forth to battle with the Egyptians, Zepho fled from Angeus from Africa, and he went and came unto Chittim. And all the people of Chittim received him with great honor, and they hired him to fight their battles all the days. And Zepho became exceedingly rich in those days. And the troops of the king of Africa still spread themselves in those days. And the children of Chittim assembled and went to Mount Cuptazia on account of the troops of Angeus, king of Africa, who were advancing upon them. And it was one day that Zepho lost a young heifer, and he went to seek it, and he heard it lowing round about the mountain. And Zepho went and saw, and behold, there was a large cave at the bottom of the mountain, and there was a great stone there at the entrance of the cave. And Zepho split the stone, and he came into the cave, and looked, and behold, a large animal was devouring the ox. From the middle upward it resembled a man, from the middle downward it resembled an animal. And Zepho rose up against the animal, and slew it with his swords. And the inhabitants of Chittim heard of this thing, and they rejoiced exceedingly, and they said, "What shall we do unto this man who has slain this animal that devoured our cattle?" And they assembled to consecrate one day in the year to him. And they called the name thereof Zepho, after his name, and they brought unto him drink offerings year after year on that day, and they brought unto him gifts. At that time Jania, the daughter of Uzu, wife of King Angeas, became ill, and her illness was heavily felt by Angeas and his officers. And Angeas said unto his wise men, "What shall I do to Jania? How shall I heal her from her illness?" And his wise men said unto him, "Because the air of our country is not like the air of the mountain, like the air of the land of Chittim, and our water is not like their water. Therefore from this has the queen become ill. For though the change of air and water she became ill, she also, because in her country she drank only the water which came from Perma, which her ancestors had brought up with bridges." And Angeas commanded his servants, and they brought unto him in vessels of the waters of Perma belonging to Chittim, and they weighed those waters with all the waters of the land of Africa, and they found those waters lighter than the waters of Africa. And Angeas saw this thing, and he commanded all his officers to assemble the hewers of stone in thousands and tens of thousands, and they hewed stone without number. And the builders came, and they built an exceedingly strong bridge, and they conveyed the spring of water from the land of Chittim unto Africa, and those waters were for Jania, the queen, and for all her concerns, to drink from, and to bake, wash, and bathe therewith, and also to water therewith all seed, from which food can be obtained, and all fruit of the ground. And the king commanded that they should bring of the soil of Chittim in large ships, and they also brought stones to build therewith. And the builders built palaces for Jania, the queen, and the queen became healed of her illness. And at the revolution of the year, the troops of Africa continued coming to the land of Chittim to plunder as usual, and Zepho, the sons of Eliphaz, heard their report, and he gave orders concerning them, and he fought with them, and they fled before him, and he delivered the land of Chittim from them. And the children of Chittim saw the valor of Zepho, and the children of Chittim resolved, and they made Zepho king over them, and he became king over them. And whilst he reigned, they went to subdue the children of Tubal and all the surrounding islands. And their king Zepho went at their head, and they made war with Tubal and the islands, and they subdued them. And when they returned from the battle, they renewed his government for him. And they built for him a very large palace for his royal habitation, and set, and they made a large throne for him. And Zepho reigned over the whole land of Chittim, and over the land of Italia 50 years. And that year, being the 79th year of the Israelites going down to Egypt, Reuben, the son of Jacob, passed away in the land of Egypt. Reuben was 125 years old when he passed. And they put him into a coffin, and he was given into the hands of his children. And in the 80th year passed his brother Dan. He was 120 years at his passing, and he also was put into a coffin and given into the hands of his children. And in that year passed Cusham, king of Edom. And after him reigned Hadad, the son of Bedad, for 35 years, and in the 81st year Issachar, the son of Jacob, passed away in Egypt, and Issachar was 122 years old at his passing. And he was put into a coffin in Egypt and given into the hands of his children. And in the 82nd year Asher passed away, his brother. He was 123 years old at his passing, and he was placed in a coffin in Egypt and given into the hands of his children. And in the 83rd year, Gad passed away. He was 125 years old at his passing, and he was put into a coffin in Egypt and given into the hands of his children. And it came to pass in the 84th year, that is the 50th year of the reign of Hadad, the son of Bedad, king of Edom, that Hadad assembled all the children of Esau, and he got his whole army in readiness, about 400,000 men, and he directed his way to the land of Moab, and he went to fight with Moab, and to make them tributary to him. And the children of Moab heard this thing, and they were very much afraid, and they sent to the children of Midian to assist them in fighting with Hadad the son of Bedad, king of Edom. And Hadad came unto the land of Moab, and Moab and the children of Midian went out to meet him, and they placed themselves in battle array against him in the field of Moab. And Hadad fought with Moab, and there fell of the children of Moab and the children of Midian many slain ones, about 200,000 men. And the battle was very severe upon Moab. And when the children of Moab saw that the battle was sore upon them, they weakened their hands and turned their backs and left the children of Midian to carry on the battle. And the children of Midian knew not the intentions of Moab, but they strengthened themselves in the battle and fought with Hadad and all his host, and all Midian fell before him. And Hadad smote all Midian with a very heavy smiting, and he slew them with the edge of the sword. He left none remaining of those who came to assist Moab. And when all the children of Midian had perished in battle, and the children at Moab had escaped, Hadad made all Moab at that time tributary to him, and they became under his hand, and they gave a yearly tax, as it was ordered, and Hadad turned and went back to his land. And at the revolution of the year, when the rest of the people of Midian that were in the land heard that all their brethren had fallen in battle with Hadad for the sake of Moab, because the children of Moab had turned their backs in battle and left Midian to fight, then 5 of the princes of Midian resolved with the rest of their brethren who remained in their land to fight with Moab to avenge the cause of their brethren. And the children of Midian sent to all their brethren, the children of the east, and all their brethren, all the children of Keturah, came to assist Midian to fight with Moab. And the children of Moab heard this thing, and they were greatly afraid that all the children of the east had assembled together against them for battle. And they, the children of Moab, sent a memorial to the land of Edom, to Hadad the son of Bedad, saying, Come now unto us, and assist us, and we will smite Midian, for they all assembled together, and have come against us, with all their brethren, the children of the east, to battle to avenge the cause of Midian that fell in battle. And Hadad, son of Bedad, king of Edom, went forth with his whole army, and went to the land of Moab to fight with Midian, and Midian and the children of the east fought with Moab in the field of Moab, and the battle was very fierce between them. And Hadad smote all the children of Midian and the children of the east with the edge of the sword, and Hadad at that time delivered Moab from the hand of Midian, and those that remained of Midian and of the children of the east fled before Hadad and his army. And Hadad pursued them to their land, and smote them with a very heavy slaughter, and the slain fell in the road. And Hadad delivered Moab from the hand of Midian, for all the children of Midian had fallen by the edge of the sword, and Hadad turned and went back to his land. And from that day forth the children of Midian hated the children of Moab, because they had fallen in battle for their sake. And there was a great and mighty enmity between them all the days. And all that were found of Midian in the road of the land of Moab perished by the sword of Moab, and all that were found of Moab in the road of the land of Midian perished by the sword of Midian. Thus did Midian unto Moab, and Moab unto Midian for many days. And it came to pass at that time that Judah the son of Jacob passed away in Egypt, in the 86th year of Jacob's going down to Egypt, and Judah was 129 years old at his passing. And they embalmed him, and put him into a coffin, and he was given into the hands of his children. And in the 89th year Naphtali passed away. He was 132 years old, and he was put into a coffin, and given into the hands of his children. And it came to pass in the 91st year of the Israelites going down to Egypt, that is in the 30th year of the reign of Zepho, the son of Eliphaz, the son of Esau, over the children of Chittim, the children of Africa came upon the children of Chittim to plunder them as usual, but they had not come upon them for these 13 years. And they came to them in that year, and Zepho, the son of Eliphaz, went out to them with some of his men and smote them desperately, and the troops of Africa fled from before Zepho, and the slain fell before him. And Zepho and his men pursued them, going on and smiting them until they were near unto Africa. And Angeas, king of Africa, heard the thing which Zepho had done, and it vexed him exceedingly, and Angeas was afraid of Zepho all the days. And that's where we're going to leave off for today. Thank you, God bless you, and have a great day. Just want to take a minute to give a shout out to a site called Free Bible Images, and this is where I go to get a lot of my images that I share. This is one reason, another reason why I will never be monetized, because this is not meant for commercial use. It is a sin to collect money to spread the word of God anyway. But these images are available for those of you out there who have Sunday school classes for download. It's at freebibleimages.org. And I have a few things here I'm putting up on the screen while I'm speaking with you for you to check out. This is a great resource. And the pictures, I can always find something to go along with the story that I'm telling. And it's pretty sound with what the Bible says. There's many different artists that are featured in there. Their names, they all have license agreements to download. I do have copies of those when I download the pictures to use to make the videos with. So check it out. It's very much a great resource if you are somebody who is teaching the word to other people. And God bless you.